Hello and welcome to this week's edition of the CertiK KYC Leaderboard Showcase. I'm your host, Jesse. As you know, in this showcase, I host a project for a live AMA where we discuss their work with CertiK, the importance of KYC in the Web3 industry, and we throw in some questions submitted by you, the viewers. Our goal is to raise the standard of security and transparency across the entire Web3 ecosystem. The KYC Leaderboard, found at skynet.certik.com, is a free tool to help you safely navigate the blockchain world. And let's just take a look at today's project, which is Mintlayer. Here we have Mintlayer's entry on the KYC Leaderboard. Well, actually on the Skynet. Here we'll head over to the verified teams leaderboard. And as you can see here, Mintlayer coming in with their gold badge. So we'll check out the project here. And Skynet has a wealth of different security information here you can check out. So KYC gold badge, Mintlayer has gone through our very extensive, very comprehensive KYC verification process. And they've also had their token contract formally verified, it looks like. And you've got the security score here and details of the audit down here. You can view the PDF, view the findings. So I highly encourage everybody to always check out a project's entry on the Skynet leaderboard before getting involved with it, just to really understand the level of security that you're getting involved with and that you're taking on there. Lots of information. So let's bring on to talk about Mintlayer. We'll bring on Michael. Michael, how's it going?
Hey, Jesse, I'm good. Thank you so much for having me here. How about yourself?
Great to have you. Sorry, what was that?
How about yourself? How are you doing today?
Doing very well. Looking forward to this chat. So let's start off, for those who aren't familiar, what is Mintlayer and what's the problem that you're solving?
Oh yeah, let me just start giving a brief introduction to Mintlayer. Yeah, Mintlayer is a Bitcoin sidechain. It's a layer 2 on Bitcoin we are building right now. We have been building on the protocol for more than 2 years now, and we are so close to release the testnet. We actually already now are running the testnet internally, but we will make a public release this summer. And currently we are around 30 people, 30 Bitcoiners working full-time on the project every day. So we are a significant Bitcoin project on the way here. And Mintlayer's goal is to build a decentralized financial ecosystem that is built on a Bitcoin standard. So that's kind of our vision, is to become a secure standard for DeFi projects to build on Bitcoin. And so now we are working hard on building the tools for developers to explore the outer reaches of Bitcoin capabilities for using the layer 2 technology. So smart contract, dApps, NFT, and more will become a reality on a Bitcoin standard. So that's exactly what we are building.
Gotcha. Okay, so obviously Bitcoin itself, the base layer, doesn't really support super complex transactions, the kind smart contracts, the kind that you need for DeFi. So Mintlayer is a layer 2 that really brings this level of functionality to Bitcoin.
Yeah, exactly. And you can see it like as to scale the Bitcoin blockchain, right? Then you have the Lightning Network, which already is like the payment solution on Bitcoin. Then Mintlayer, our goal is to become the DeFi solution on Bitcoin. So that's why we both have our protocol is UTXO based, and we also gonna have Lightning Network integrated. So we have these capabilities to bring DeFi to Bitcoin.
Gotcha. Let's touch on that, actually, the UTXO structure. So privacy in DeFi is a topic of discussion. Generally, in what we've seen on Ethereum and many other chains, DeFi is very transparent. All operations are visible on chain. Could you elaborate on Mintlayer's approach to privacy, particularly regarding the UTXO structure and confidential transactions?
Yeah, I can give you some clarify about what we are doing here at Mintlayer, because Mintlayer, as I said, we are UTXO based, so we are programming it just like the Bitcoin blockchain is programmed. And just to give a highlight on what UTXO based versus account based like Ethereum, what the difference is, then you can see like UTXO based is just like cash, so that in every bill or coin is like independent from each other, and where account based is more like how the bank credit money works today. So everything is just like parties recognize the nominal validity of the credit, but the transaction itself is not really settled. It's more like on a credit based, where UTXO based is just like paying with cash. So there's that directly settlement. And that's the approach we are performing at Mintlayer. And there's like a few bullet point why we chosen to do that. One is like because that is the reason we are compatible with the Lightning Network, so we can use this atomic swap on Mintlayer, which is gonna be our value proposition on Mintlayer, where we can have the original native Bitcoin can be swapped with any tokens issued on Mintlayer, and that can only be possible because we have chosen to build it up like a UTXO base, just like the Bitcoin blockchain. And more than that, regarding to the privacy, that because like a single Bitcoin wallet itself, because it's UTXO, they usually utilize multiple addresses, so it make it difficult, sometimes impossible, to distinguish which one belongs to the same user. So it's only right when on-ramping and off-ramping where you really got to prove your identity if that is needed. So that's how we're gonna utilize it on Mintlayer.
Gotcha. Yeah, it sounds like there are some interesting considerations to take into account when building on Bitcoin versus other blockchains, and sounds like you've thought through the approach there that you're taking.
Yeah, exactly. And again, I can just like you also asking about the confidential transaction mode,
Yeah.
which is a feature we also gonna have integrated in the Mintlayer, because on Mintlayer we will have 3 different token standards called MLS. We have the first one is just like the native token, like ERC20 token, and number 2 is like we're gonna have a privacy token, which we're gonna highlight in a second, and then the third one option is gonna be the NFT tokens. But the number 2, the privacy token, they have some features by design to keep the sender and the transaction output confidential. So that's gonna be really important for the future, and it's definitely on our roadmap to get this sorted out, because it is, and we are planning to do it by the ring signatures, which is the way to hide the sender's address, and the encoding scheme called CT to hide the transaction amount in an output, because we all know, like a Bitcoin blockchain, everything is transparent and open,
Right.
which is why it's so secure and trusted blockchain, right? But we are using these features that Monero is also using, but we are also implementing in this MLS2 token on Mintlayer. So people who can have some privacy as an option on Mintlayer. And I'm sure that, like, when we're thinking about a big corporation and institution and government and everybody who wants to get involved in the blockchain and Mintlayer and Bitcoin, I'm sure they want to have their transaction to be hidden from the general public or competitors in the business world, right? So that's kind of a way to bring them onto the blockchain and Bitcoin and DeFi. So that's a feature we will bring on as well.
Right. Yeah, I think transaction privacy is an interesting one, and from, as you mentioned, Monero, Zcash, other privacy coins like that, utilizing some very advanced cryptography that it sounds like you're integrating as well into Mintlayer. So that's good to hear. In terms of another question on the infrastructure of Mintlayer. So Mintlayer's protocol eliminates native gas tokens in order to enable cheaper, faster transactions. How does this work? How do you get rid of the gas token?
Yeah, no, again, we are not like getting rid of the gas token itself, but we have this, what we call how to say it, like, we by default fee for the transaction on Mintlayer is set to be ML tokens, which are our native token. But however, is that the user can decide which token they want to use to pay the gas fees among the tokens available in the wallet. All it requires is that the block signer, who is like putting the transaction into the blocks, they accept that token as a gas fee payment. So it's actually open to to pay transaction fees with other tokens. So again, if we go to the institutions or governments who are gonna be building some DeFi protocols on Mintlayer, then they don't need to make sure that all their users or clients gonna have ML tokens as well. They can actually make their own environment for their own tokens, so their customer and use bases can use their tokens for the gas fees around the Mintlayer protocol.
Okay, got it. That makes sense. Yeah, I appreciate the clarification there. So you're building something pretty complex here, building on top of Bitcoin, enabling a whole lot of functionality. How would you describe the key security features of Mintlayer? And how do you prioritize security in development of this relatively complex new protocol?
Oh yeah, this is one of the most important factors for us. It's just like the securities, absolutely. But again, like we have like the security features on Mintlayer, we have like a different way to structure that, because what we're doing is just like trying to eliminate the chances to getting failures or security breaches or anything. And again, just like the core of Mintlayer provide the ability to swap the original native Bitcoin from the main Bitcoin blockchain to any token issued on Mintlayer blockchain using the decentralized atomic swap. And because we're doing like this remove the need for bridges and wrap tokens and federated tokens and other counterparties, because this removes this possibilities for hacks and failure greatly, because everything is decentralized. So it's just like you can audit and verify the code, and then you just trust the process itself. You're
right.
You're getting away from a lot of different things that can be break, because it's just like common cases with the wrapped Bitcoin, but because on Mintlayer you can use the original native Bitcoin. So there's a smart contract less on this approach, and also you have only a peer-to-peer, so you don't need a third party or a counterparty to trust. They have their picked or federated Bitcoin on other tokens as well. So this just like one point is just like the decentralized exchange we're gonna build on Mintlayer, with the directly swap from the original Bitcoin to any tokens of Mintlayer. And besides that, we also like have decentralization really important to us. So like to running a node on Mintlayer to secure the network will be very, very simple. So you don't need like a great hardware or several days of downloading the blockchain data or anything. So we aim for decentralization a lot, and on top of just running a node, we have the block signers, as I mentioned before, who are gonna create the blocks, and they can also earn the transaction fees that is paid in each transaction as well, and plus the ML staking rewards they can earn as well, which is prefixed for the first 10 years. So again, it's just like decentralization is really important for us as well. And same as the self-custody. So we already now are integrating the Tracer and Ledger hardware wallets as well, because like self-custody is important for us, because we don't want to risk any of the users' funds or anything. We really aim and educate people to hold their own keys.
Okay, yeah. So you're really sticking true to the decentralization, peer-to-peer nature of Bitcoin. So how easy will it be for someone to run their own node? Is this something you could do on a laptop at home, or yeah, what kind of hardware and what kind of like technical knowledge as well is required?
Yeah, absolutely. Regarding to the hardware, it's just a laptop is fine, and you can just actually use it on your private computer and just have it run in the background. That'll be fine as well. And again, we are gonna working to have it so user-friendly as possible. So I know our tech team is working on that right now to make it so simple as possible. But at the moment, we don't have any staking feature going on right now, but it'll come this summer as well, along with the testnet. So within a month, I'm sure we'll have some great news about that one as well. So, and more information about how to run a node and how to also run a node on the testnet is also going to be possible, and they're going to be also incentivized to another staking rewards to have people to play around with that, so they can earn some.
Keep an eye out for the testnet run a node.
Exactly.
So you stressed the importance of the open source, building in the open, making the code, as transparent as possible. So how does security auditing come into this, and what's the importance of auditing for your business, for your community, and how do you see auditing in the Web3 space, in the decentralized space?
Oh, it's super important. I'll say it's everybody should have like an audit from a third party. But just to go back, like Mintlayer, we are an open source development. All work and all code we are working on, they can be audited and checked out at GitHub. We are open permissionless. Everybody can come and build with us or just check the code. And and we also have open position available for developers. So please come and join us. And open source developer grants are also available to grab as well. Again, this is also just one of the options we have to get new eyes to look at the code, and maybe they can see some mistakes or any way we can run it more efficiently. But again, like third party auditing is super important, and it's an important factor for a successful protocol or platform, because again, like new eyes to look at the code is so important, and with audit companies like you and CertiK, just like who have the knowledge and expertise on smart contract, this will heavily decrease the chances for any exploration and hacks in the smart contract. So that's why we also at Mintlayer, we are using third-party auditing every time.
Yeah, absolutely. As you said, the more eyes on the code, the better, especially once it's deployed. Once it's deployed out into a live ecosystem, there's all sorts of interactions with different protocols, and you're building a very interoperable solution. So there's a lot of moving parts in that, and important to get it right before deployment, before any funds get locked in the contracts and that sort of thing. So Mintlayer is touted as a future-proof blockchain, which is great to hear. I think there's a lot of exciting things coming in the future. How do you sort of ensure this level of interoperability, the level of flexibility that is required to keep up with the rate of change in Web3 and crypto?
Oh again, like Mintlayer, we are a Bitcoin sidechain, and we are a group of Bitcoiners who believe Bitcoin blockchain is the most decentralized and strongest network out there, and will still be running in 10, 50, 80 years.
Right.
And so that's why we want to focus on building and scaling Bitcoin itself. And that's also why we are like open to see what's going on in the Bitcoin space right now, because as I already mentioned, that we're gonna integrate the Lightning network as well into the protocol. So we're gonna solve the Bitcoin scalability problem by faster transaction from the Lightning network, and then we're gonna add on our own DeFi opportunities as well to build on the native Bitcoin as well. But again, we have seen many things going on right now in the Mintlayer in the Bitcoin, and we also have a new one alternative to Lightning network called Arc. And so of course we're gonna be looking out for what happening in the market, and see if there's something we're gonna be adding on to the protocol at some point, if we're gonna see there's gonna be a use case or demand for it. So again, we are flexible in the way we're gonna develop the protocol, and we have a roadmap for the next 2 years on how to keep adding features into Mintlayer. And again, just like the priorities on these features can always change. It depends on what's going on in the market. So we are very flexible, and if they're gonna come up some completely new and exciting protocol or opportunity, then we will look into it and see how it's gonna fit for Bitcoin and Mintlayer in the future, just to be future proof, as you mentioned.
For sure, yeah. That's a flexible approach. I think one that will pay off. And could you speak a little bit about tokenization in the context of Mintlayer, tokenization of real world assets?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, let's see. Like the tokenization is like real world asset. I believe that is gonna be the future, the next boom. And if we're gonna see any, let's say, when we're gonna see the institution and corporation and everything coming into the blockchain space, then it'll be they're gonna have like the real world asset they're gonna tokenize and bring into the blockchain space. So it's gonna be super important and very exciting as well. And that is also something we are preparing for at our end. So I'll say like the tokenization and the regulation right now, there is so much confusion, especially in the US about this and the SEC and everything. So that's also why Mintlayer on purpose, we are just like, no, we don't want to focus on US at this moment, because it's just like still a lot of unclarity about what's going to happen in the future. So that's why you'll see us like in the Europe and Middle East and Asia is where we are focused, and also have listing our token and also building around. And for us, and regarding to comply and everything, then Mintlayer, we do and will comply with all regulatory requirement.
Sure.
And so right now we have an business arm called Mintlayer Institutional, which will be regulated in Dubai, and this will their focus will be to onboard corporation, hedge fund, institutions, and government and everything. So there's a lot of work and research behind this and networking to setting this standard to create this structure, so we can have the real world assets to be building on a Bitcoin and a DeFi blockchain like Mintlayer. So that is what we're setting up right now. We've been working on it for several months, and but there'll be more news on that front later on this year, and it's very exciting. And we believe like we have settled everything down, and we know the regulatory requirement on how we're going to do it on the Mintlayer Institutional. So that's very exciting, and we are pumped for this one. It's going to be amazing to see the next bull run that might come next year, and see how adoption going to be from the institution side.
For sure, I think it is an exciting time, and I think the tokenization of real world assets is such a strong use case for blockchain. As you mentioned, there are some jurisdictions are a little more forward thinking on this than others, but I think it makes sense to target the ones that are open to it at the moment, and then wait for the others to catch up. Maybe that's a strategy.
Exactly, and let's see more and more people's countries seems like to get the clarity and regulation on board regarding to the crypto space in generally. And you can see like we have the MiCA in Europe is also set in stone now, finally, after, I don't know, 5 years or something. And we have a lot of countries around like Dubai, Singapore, Hong Kong, everything are moving into it. And so we're just waiting for US to get on board as well. So that's where I think we'll see the next exponential growth and adoption into blockchain. That'll be when this is set into stone in the US.
I think so too. I think we just need to wait and see, but it'll come. So switching gears to KYC, this is the KYC Leaderboard Showcase. Could you speak a little bit about KYC for Web3 project teams, the importance of that, the importance of building trust with your community? I think everyone's very familiar with KYC, individual KYC, having to complete your own KYC to sign up to an exchange, a fiat off-ramp, something like that. But how about KYC for the people building projects? What's
exactly. Yeah, exactly. That's something else, and I feel like it's a really good opportunity for startups and blockchain projects to do this, because blockchain project and business in general, they will only become successful if they gain trust from its community and users, right? So today, startups in the Web3 environment are completely different from the traditional way of doing it. If we go back just 5-10 years, right? The old days, they were just like on all new business that was setting up, they were just like a photo of the owner and management and the public address and phone numbers and mail to the directly persons in the management team. That's how it was in the old day. But today, it's just like many founders of the Web3 project, they are staying private and just have a JPEG as a photo and like a silly name and all that, which is, it's fine if you don't want you to be like a face in front of the business. If that's how you like it to do it, that's fine. So this way to start a business with this KYC and CertiK KYC is just like a really good idea, because then you can just like get your ID and prove that you're working on the project, and like CertiK know who you are and everything. It's super important, and even though we are at Mintlayer, we are open and transparent, the development progress and code can be visited on GitHub, and also the name of our team and LinkedIn profile can be found on our website. So we are already open and transparent about who are building this and who we are, but we are public. But with the CertiK KYC of our founders and leading developers, we further establish credibility in the market, and this CertiK KYC, they can be utilized for strategic partnerships in the future, like exchanges and institutions and more. So that's why we also decided to go this way, just to strengthen the transparency and credibility, to have a third-party audit company like you and trusted partner to go in the space and like read the IDs and on the faces of us and validate and put it out there and say, hey, yeah, we are real people working on this project. So it's just to be transferring credibility, more credibility, and I think it's a good way to do it in general.
That's a great summary of the process. I mean, and so you submit your identification, that's reviewed by our team of former intelligence, former law enforcement. It's all kept very confidential, but at the end of the process, you get the KYC badge, which you can, as you said, I hadn't even thought about that, but you can show that to other project teams who just know that they're dealing with someone willing to stand behind their project publicly. And and it just really does increase credibility, as you said, and very publicly as well. You get to show off that you're willing to stand behind your project. And as you said, like there are projects where the founder will just have a JPEG or something like that, and there's a strong tradition of that in crypto. But when you're building something that's going to you have deposits of millions of dollars, I think there is a need for transparency, credibility, integrity, that sort of thing. Exactly. So I think making that option available to the teams that want to do that is a great thing. So I'm glad to see that you took it up.
Yeah, and again, it's just like, especially if you want to attract the traditional business and institutional to get on board on Web3 and blockchain, then you need to like get a step back and do the thing that they do. So put a face up, get a review, get verified, and say, yeah, we are here for the long term. We are not just like a startup who are just like trying to do something, but we are here for the long term and putting our face and name on it. So again, if we want to attract the institution, we're gonna do it that way.
Yeah, absolutely. And doing it in a very playing the traditional game, but doing it in a Web3 way, in a way that really leverages the best of blockchain technology, the transparency, the security. So yeah, I think building in the open is one of the best things that you can do. And that's how you create trust with your community. That's how Satoshi Nakamoto did it 13 years ago. And he's one person who's never revealed their identity, but I think Bitcoin gets a pass. It's been around for long enough, and other teams should strongly consider it.
Yeah, absolutely. I agree.
Okay, well, it's been a great discussion, Michael. I really appreciate you coming on. I encourage everybody to head over to the Skynet leaderboard and check out Mintlayer. There's a whole lot of detail available on that page. You've got the audit history and GitHub monitoring as well. That's one thing that Mintlayer has activated. As you were talking about your activity being out there in the public, it's very easy to see that on Skynet. really a great dashboard for all sorts of information on a project, all in one place. And Mintlayer has gone above and beyond with their gold KYC badge. So kudos to you on that. And if there's any final words you'd like to leave our audience with, where they can find out more, your testnet will be launching soon, as you mentioned. So lots of big things coming.
Yeah, I'll just I'll just say that, yeah, we have like the testnet, it's already running internally, but will be public released this summer. And we also have the staking program coming up in very few weeks. So it's going to be very interesting to see that. And as mentioned, we have the testnet coming up, and we want the project to come and build on Mintlayer and test everything out. So, and we have an ecosystem fund backed by a lot of VCs who are ready to invest and fund these projects building on Mintlayer. So yeah, come forward to visit our website, mintlayer.org, and we have the incubator program, accelerator program as well to sign up, and we'll help you build your business and assist you in develop your program and protocol on Mintlayer and Bitcoin.
Exciting times. Thank you for coming on, Michael. I really look forward to seeing what you guys build and what people build on your platform. I think it's a very valuable addition to the space.
Yeah, thank you so much. A pleasure.
Thanks, everybody. We'll catch you next time.